So, seeing as it's relatively quiet, we'll do a little update. Leaving Lebanon now after the craziest, I think, experience most tourists would have. I will. I don't know what order I'm going to upload these videos in. I did a video following the arrest, and I did the video without sleeping. And obviously, I say that at the beginning in the introduction as articulately, is that a word? As articulate as I can or could at the time. 4 days without fluid or water, and the whole point of it was for it to be an organic reaction. Oh, that's not my flight. So aside from that, I'll give a little overview of Lebanon so far. My impression of Lebanon was that the people are some of the friendliest in the world, I have to say. They do have a problem with prostitutes, though, in this country. It seems that everywhere I go, and I've been to Beirut and Tripoli and up the coast, it just seems that last and final call. I always wonder when it's last and final call, where do these people disappear to? Because they only say that if you've actually checked in through security, and we're in a really, I would say, compact airport. So when I hear that in small airports, I wonder where these people just disappear off to. How can you miss your flight? I assume most of these people fall asleep, but anyway. The first impression I got from Lebanon was very odd. There were prostitutes everywhere, a lot of people drinking, a lot of development. It was really, really strange in Beirut. A lot of high-rises being built, but a lot of the development that already exists on the coast is it's not occupied. A lot of these places are empty. Lebanon's got a really small population, so it just seems like a bizarre place, in all honesty. It just seems like a crime hub, a military-controlled hub of money laundering for foreign nationals and Lebanese expats. That's the impression I get of Lebanon as a whole, and then obviously getting arrested by the military junta and thrown in a prison for 4 days isn't ideal from a tourism perspective. But if I were to take that out of the equation for just a second, I would say there's some very organic things to see here. I preferred Tripoli. Tripoli is more traditional, more representative of the real Lebanon and Mediterranean Middle East, I would say. Beirut is absolutely disgusting. I can't understand why anyone would live here. Beirut, I'll tell you what Beirut is. When I was wandering through Beirut today, I was trying to work out how to best define Beirut and the people that live there. There's so much illicit money in Beirut from people that have absolutely no quality and no taste that I came up with. I'll see if I can remember it. For me, it's a place of criminal goons. There was a word that I wanted to use when I was wandering down the beach earlier past the now sort of disintegrating American University of Beirut. But Beirut is just the most disgusting place. It's full of people that have somehow made millions, and easy money made is easy money spent, and that's why there's always the age-old term in Britain, which is that differentiates money as a whole, in the higher echelons of society, whereby higher isn't applied to new money. That's why you have the term new money and old money. People with old money often, they don't go out with all this panaz and lime green Lamborghinis flirting around Mayfair or Belgravia. They don't show their cash, in essence. They're sophisticated. They've earned it for the most part, or it's hereditary wealth. But Beirut just seems like a place of just easy money trash. It reminds me of a place where if there were 50 Ronaldos that from 5 generations ago that all had 50 kids apiece and were living off the proceeds of their of his legacy. That's what Beirut is, just fucking moneyed idiots with no taste whatsoever. So that was my impression of Beirut. I stand by that. I think it's one of the most awful places I've been. Tripoli was very nice, and I'm sure there's lots of other nice places in Lebanon. The people as a whole are very nice in Lebanon. I would say. Definitely like right at the top of my list for the nicest people. It's just a shame that it's such a mess of a country. And I think inevitably it will fall into civil war again. It's just, I'm saying that based off of traveling indefinitely for 12 years through 120 countries. And you just see when things aren't organic and natural, when things are sort of being artificially squashed together. There's just too many fingers in the pie, I think, and there's just too many. Any country where there's a UN presence basically is just fucking waiting to be boomtowned. That's the way I look at it. It's just a artificial government. I mean, Israel basically controls Lebanon. I'm sure the Lebanese people don't realize that or understand it or be willing to ever admit that. But all the government in Lebanon is bought out by the Israelis. It's just funny. Like, for example, I can give you a couple of micro examples here. So Lebanon buys all of its military surplus from the United Kingdom, or a sizable proportion of it comes from England. It's British defence contractors that provide the Lebanese military with a lot of their stuff. But it's also British defence contractors that supply the Israeli army. So it's like, and then you go through places like Beirut and there's Dunkin' Donuts. It's Dunkin' Donuts in the airport. Dunkin' Donuts is owned by a load of Israeli Jews. Like, so you have this country that is officially at war with Israel, but then you walk through the high streets in Beirut, and a ton of the companies that you see are Israeli. That's the level of ignorance in this place. It's just in the world now. It's theatre. It really is theatre. But aside from that, I would say that for most people, it could be a nice enough place to visit. I think if you're a woman, it's absolutely fine. I think if you're a man and you want to venture into Syria, you've got to you run the risk of the Lebanese Gestapo picking you up and torturing you for fun in their little Ministry of Defence basement. But I have no doubts that they would ignore any lady that was equally suspicious to them. So I guess that's pretty much it. I'm looking a bit tired. I've been up since like 2 days because I was trying to buy back the time that was lost in the prison, and then there was a bit of some issues with the internet and the hotel that I booked, but consequently I did manage to get most things done, but I had to sacrifice sleep for that, and now I've got a very arduous trip. So I got up at 5:30 yesterday morning. It's now almost 5:30 the following morning, so it's 24 hours. Then we're going to Istanbul, and then I've got a layover to northern Cyprus. This is, of course, all from the cancelled Syria trip, so I'm just kind of filling that space now with little things. Places that I haven't been before, and I think I've decided just to do 10 days of trekking. It's a very calm and pleasing 20 degrees centigrade for the most part throughout December in Cyprus, and hopefully most tourists will have pissed off. So it should be really good for some hiking, some climbing, and then I fly to the Caucasus. Very excited. A massive difference in temperature. It's going to be about 0 to 5 in late December where I'm flying to. It's coming from 20. That's going to be a bit frosty. But I have an absolute love for that region of the world. The former Soviet Union countries are so authentic, and everything there is just crisp. As far as food goes, if you like things that aren't filled with preservatives and all kinds of artificial poisons and toxins, then Soviet Union is the way to go. Like every country you visit, whether it's Central Asia or the Caucasus or up in Eastern Europe and in kind of mainland, albeit rural Russia, you're just everything, the berries, the nuts, the fruits, they're all just babushka surplus. So it's sort of really the place to go if you're into that and into the wild and into honest people, traditional values without any of these kind of Judaic Kabbalistic practices of LGBT nonsense and all these minority rights being pushed down people's throats in the West for the purpose of division and inevitable deconstruction of former prosperous and powerful states. Go to the USSR 2.0. So I'll leave it there, and I'll put up some more clips and videos and stuff, and it's I'm looking forward to trying to get to Russia next year. To be honest, it's now fast approaching. It's only really a month away until I start applying for the visa. So there we go. I'll leave it. Au revoir.